Let's have a look at tomorrow's Daily Telegraph, because this story says day zero. Doomsday countdown reveals major towns to run dry in weeks. It's the countdown that will throw New South Wales towns into crisis. The number of days before our river systems run dry. Official day zero predictions reveal the time major dams and rivers will no longer be able to supply drinking water. The first towns, including the major western city of Dubbo, will be dry in November unless there is major rainfall. Weather experts say there's little sign of rain between now and the end of the year. Scott, we've said it's a crisis. We've used all of the descriptors that we can. Now what?
Well, look, that's right, Jane. And look, we have talked about this so many times when we've been on the programs and talking about the heartbreak and it seems like there's no end in sight to this for New South Wales and particularly in Queensland as well. And to see it so graphically described today, or in the paper tomorrow there, in the Sunday Telegraph there, you know, they're saying, well, look, by this day in November, the dams are going to run out, the water's going to run out. It's just more and more heartbreak. I can't emphasise enough. And as you know, I've been out to some of these areas, particularly in Queensland, and the communities are just suffering out there. And you don't quite understand until you go out there how the level of despair that these communities are facing because of this. And as the forecast is saying, there is no end in sight, no rain on the horizon at all.
No. Martin Drum, we've had an okay season here in Western Australia, although I just want to add that there are areas of drought in Western Australia too. And a friend of mine, they were sending off their cattle today, their breeders, cows and heifers, because that eastern Gascoyne area is in drought. But these towns, Martin, running out of water, and in fact, Michael McCormack's had some interesting things to say at that Nationals sort of conference today, and I'll bring you some of what he said. It's in the Australian in a moment. But Martin, your thoughts on the Daily Telegraph making this once again front and centre so that people in the city can see this story too?
Yeah, it is important for people across Australia to understand what's going on. It really is awful. It's a dire predicament for those towns. Having grown up in regional New South Wales, it's a really poignant issue. It's one of the things that was on your mind frequently when I was much younger. It is a reminder that we've got to try and find ways to have a sustainable water policy. This is obviously brought on by the drought, but it's 2019. We've got to try and find solutions to something like this.